I find it much easier to work with this whenever we remove it and take it and put it on a table somewhere. To get things going, you've got to remove these connectors. Basically, they'll be unplugged. So you've got to go through each one of these. So typically what I'll end up doing is I'll take something like another tool, and then I'll take a screwdriver, and then I'll work these connectors along the side like that. Okay, and that'll help me remove that connector. And remember, all of this is going to be connected back up after we're finished, so you want to be careful and not crack or break any of these connectors that are inside the panel. All these connectors have been disconnected and broken loose, and the CT wiring has been disconnected. Now, as a safety precaution, there are multiple sources of power that come into any control panel on a centrifugal compressor. There's going to be the main operating power, which is typically 480 volts and sometimes 120 volts, or depending on what country you're in, it's going to be different, but it is three-phase power or single-phase power that comes in. You also have to remember there's going to be some times where there's going to be remote signals coming from motor starters and also other devices out there, such as your DCS or maybe an alarm horn or some other system somewhere in the plant that's going to be feeding this control panel. So before you start working inside the control panel, make sure that all your power sources are isolated. You may have to take a meter or some type of a device called what we call a hot stick, which will indicate voltages. So you want to make sure all those are isolated and out of the control panel. You're also dealing with pressure devices that are inside, so you want to isolate all your pressure sources as well, so that you take main power or air off of the control panel and remove that, so that's not an issue either. So remember, whatever you do, be sure to work safe, because you are going to be inside the panel doing some work. So anyway, and to finish up, we're going to go ahead and pull these 4 screws out, and then we'll take the CMC board completely out of the control panel to work on it. Okay, and once you're finished removing those 4 fasteners, the CMC base module comes out, and you can take this to a safe work area over on a workbench to finish up the remainder of your work. Now remember, there's 4 fasteners in the back that hold this board in place, and you want to keep your hands on those fasteners, and you don't want to throw them away. You want to hang on to them, because we're going to use them in a few moments to reinstall the CMC board.